We're sitting here with Mando Sallavanti. Welcome to the show, brother.
My man, awesome to chat.
Let's have this chat. So why did you become a financial advisor?
Well, I think like many people that got into this industry, it was never really a plan for me. It actually was a kind of a plan B. So I remember growing up, I always wanted to be like my dad. My dad's a doctor, and as I got older and was emulating him and going into college where I was pre-med like him, I had a realization that I didn't quite want to be a doctor like him, but I wanted to impact people how he did and live the life that he did. So as I was going through this, he introduces me to his financial advisor, Timmy Lavelle. Timmy talked to me. It was a dark January night. I'm in my Jeep that I had in college, and I'm driving around like trying to get alone time to talk to Timmy. So I'm not at home and my parents are hearing the conversation. And I asked him a lot of questions, but I remember I asked him what it means to be an advisor. And Timmy told me that what it means to be an advisor is it really comes down to the three things that we think about before we go to bed. And what he said to me was, the first thing we think about, did I hurt anybody today? And if I did, I could pray about it, could talk to a friend, whatever I need to do to make my mind right. The second thing we think about, am I healthy? Is my family healthy? And if we're not, you call your doctor. And he told me, he's like, kid, that's your dad. He's the second thing people think about before they go to bed. The third thing though, this is where I remember his voice got quiet, really soft, started to make me really listen. He said, can we pay our bills? Are we doing the right things for our family? Are we making the right decisions so down the road, 10 years, 20 years in the future, we're going to be okay and know that everyone around us is okay? And he said, I'm the third thing people think about. Who do you want to be? Mm-hmm. And at that time, I'm like going way faster than the speed limit. I'm ready to like run through a wall. I'm like, I want to be this guy. I don't even know him yet. I just talked to him on the phone. And that is what led to interning with him unofficially, to an official internship after, and then to starting the career right off the college campus.
That's awesome. What do you think has been the most valuable lesson or maybe experience that you've had with a client thus far in your young career?
The most valuable experience I've had with a client, probably a client of mine gets in a car accident. I remember it was 7 a.m. on a Monday morning. The husband gets in a car accident, and I get a call from the wife, and it's like 7 a.m. I'm like, what's she calling me for? And she says, hey, Mando, Alonzo was just in a car accident. I don't know what to do from here. They said he's okay, but where should we go? And he was okay. She ended up calling the insurance company because my first question was, what did insurance say? She's like, I didn't call them yet. I called you. And everything was cool. And it wasn't a catastrophic scenario. But when that happened, I realized, like, back to the story Timmy told me when I was 19 years old, if we're not the third thing people think about, we might be the thing people think about all the time. Because in that moment, she didn't call family. She didn't call a friend. She called me. And I was the first thing that she's like, I need to call Mando.
That's really powerful. And glad to hear that he was okay, because that could have gone very badly.
Yeah.
Well, what's one thing you wish everyone knew about money?
I wish people knew that you need to define what a proper use of money is for yourself. So here's what I mean by that. A really good book I've read probably 3 times is Die with Zero by Bill Perkins. And one of the things he talks about in the book is how when we're in our early years, so just say our 20s, when we're first earning money, you're going to earn the least amount of money, but the utility it might have to actually spend it on experiences or something similar could be significantly more valuable than saving it all because you have not a lot of income and you have expenses and waiting to have those experiences at 35 or 40. So if I want to go on, a trip to Rome, Italy, like for example, one of the things I did, proposed to my then girlfriend Mattia in Rome, and I probably spent almost $15,000 overall on the 2-week trip, on the engagement itself, the proposal planning, all of that stuff. And was it the most financially responsible thing at the time? I can look at my finances and say, like, if I was my client, I'd be questioning what I was doing. But I also realized the career that I'm in as an advisor, I saw my growth trajectory. I saw if I'm doing X amount of actions and bringing in X amount of clients every month, you start to do the math pretty quick on where your income is going to grow. And now I look today, 3 years in the future, I'm glad I made that decision, even though on paper it didn't make sense with money at the time. So what I wish people knew about money is have self-awareness to evaluate what is the best utility of these dollars today, and think about where it will be in the future for your personal circumstances.
That's awesome. So you do a lot of learning events, including coming to Rhino Boot Camp here. Why do you invest the time, money, and energy to keep coming to things like this?
The one word answer is insecurity. The long answer is this. So when I got in this business, if you met me when I was 19, I had that first conversation with Timmy. I was super analytical. I was very shy. Like if I walked into a party, I didn't talk to anybody unless someone came up to me. Never mind a stranger. Even people I knew, that would be the case. So when I got in this business, everyone told me, are you sure you want to do this? You can't do that. Everyone can't be in this business. Do you know how Timmy is? And if you met Timmy, he's like, he walks in the party, he goes to the middle of the room and talks to every person possible. That's who he is. So I was being told why I'm not him and why I can't be good in this business. Meanwhile, having him as my mentor, being so different from me, was the best thing for me, that actually allowed me to emulate him, because his strengths were my weaknesses that I could work on and get to a competent level, and then lean into what I was good at. So as that happened, what was the original question, Josh? I'm losing my track here.
About why you take the time, energy, and money to invest.
So as that happened, I started to learn from Timmy, but I realized there was things that he couldn't teach me, and there was things that I just needed to learn in other places. So as I started to make some money, I'm like, oh, people say hire a coach. Like, that's a good idea. So I hired my first coach in 2021, and it worked out really well. It was a $4,500 program, 6-week thing. How do you do like real financial planning? How do you charge a fee for your service? And that investment, I probably advanced my career 6 years in 6 weeks. And I became #1 planner in my firm's agency as a year 4 advisor. And we have over 200 advisors in the agency. So that worked out really well. And it gave me a bias that I could spend money to shrink time and bring the future to the present as far as the person I'm becoming. And I've made a lot of good investments. I've made some bad ones, but over and over again, I find if I invest the money, if I go in with intention, if I take action and really think about how do I apply this, my life is guaranteed to be in a better place. I control how that outcome happens. And that's why I focus so much on investing in myself.